So welcome back to another episode, and yes, I'm going to be looking back on 2024, my favorite games of the year personally, and what a year it has been, especially coming off 2023, which was an incredible year, into 2024. And I was like, maybe it will be a lighter year on video games. Boy, I was wrong. Some incredible games came out this year that really blew my mind. Obviously, my game of the year was Metaphor ReFantazio. I've already made a video about that, but I'm going to talk about everything else from the year. So I'll ask you guys, what are some games of the year for you? Let me know down below. Was it a big game? Was it a small game? An indie game? Put it down in the comments down below so everybody can see. Now to start with, one game came out this year that I thought, oh, it's going to be kind of a fun action game. I played the other ones in the past, the VR games and all that. And then I got it, I started to play it, and it blew my mind all the way to the end of the game. And that is for Astrobot. What an amazing action platforming game by Sony, and one that I didn't expect to be on my games of the year list. I thought, oh yeah, I like the Astrobot series, they're kind of fun, but this one took it to another level. And yes, it borrowed a lot of things from a lot of other action games, including the Mario games. It took a lot from that, and why not borrow from the best? And Astrobot did. And I couldn't believe some of the levels, some of the action, some of the over-the-top bosses. I was floored, and all the way through the game, I even said it in my review, I had nothing but a smile on my face, and that's what Astrobot is. I would actually say that if you have a PS5, it's a must-own game, and it's such a great family game. You can get everybody in the room playing this game, and I think everybody will enjoy it together. So, high recommendations for Astrobot. Now, another game I didn't even think I would be playing this year. It was not on my radar at all, and that is for Silent Hill 2, the remake, right here by Konami. I played the original game back in the PS2 days, and I thought it was pretty okay. I enjoyed it, but I didn't get into it like my friend Rob did. And then the remake got announced, and then everybody's kind of going, no, this is not going to be a great game. And then the reviews came out, and that changed everybody's mind, including myself. I went and picked up my copy, brought it home during the Halloween season, and I started playing it, and I was completely taken back. I'm a big believer in Silent Hill 2 now. I wasn't before, I am now, and I think they've done such a great job upgrading this game from the original, and the gameplay is there, the scares are there, the puzzles are there, the exploration is there. I really had a really fun time with this game.
Thanks.
And yes, it has some absolutely scary moments. Another game that I did not expect to play this year, it wasn't on my radar. I kind of saw some graphics of it, I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. I like Warhammer, and that is for Space Marine 2. This game is a return to form of action games of the past, very much reminiscent of Gears of War. And you play as the Space Marines taking out thousands and thousands of enemies. I couldn't believe what I was seeing on the screen. But the graphics, the excitement, the fun of this game was a return to old school action. I already liked Warhammer, and this absolutely solidified it. If you're looking for a great action game, you can't go wrong with Space Marine 2. Now, this game was nearly my game of the year, and it just got nudged out a little bit. It was so close, and that is for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Yes, it's a sequel to Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is a remake of the original Final Fantasy VII that originally came out on the PS1 in 1997. Now, what I want to say about this game compared to Remake, the first Remake, is this game is a lot more open world, and that's what I wanted with Remake. The Remake kind of felt like it was holding my hand all the way through. This game lets you off the leashes and lets you go and explore the world with these characters that you know so well.
I'm waiting, Cloud.
And I loved it, and I love the retelling of certain story elements from the original game that came out in 97. And I just love running around, getting into combat, unlocking different aspects of the world, and really being at home with my friends again. These are my friends. I've known these characters for like 27 years at this point.
Home sweet home, right?
And so fun to revisit the game once again in this whole brand new, different way with some kind of alternative storylines. For anybody who's played it, you absolutely know. Really fantastic game and really should have been up there as my one game of the year.
Something wrong?
No, nothing. It's just hot. In the sun.
Now back to another over-the-top action game, and I got a review copy, but day one I went out and bought a physical copy to support it for Stellar Blade, because this is a stellar game. Over-the-top action, absolutely fantastic character design, and yes, this game caused quite a controversy when it came out, which is kind of strange to think about because of some of the characters' outfits and all that. Some people deemed them too revealing, and I absolutely go the opposite way. I love the character and I love the game. You're trying to reclaim the Earth against aliens, over-the-top storyline, over-the-top action, high recommendation if you're looking for a fun action game. And if you're a Persona fan, like my wife is, she finished this game at 97 hours this year, and that is Persona 3 Reload, a remake of Persona 3 that originally came out on the PS2. That's the one I originally played, and we sat and played this game together, but Kim took the main helm of it, and wow, what a great remake of a classic game. And I really like this game, and the reason why is I feel that a brand new audience can experience this game, and now they can experience it this way. But combat, unbelievable. Going up the tower can be a bit tiresome, but that's what the gameplay is with Persona 3 Reload. High recommendation, especially if you're a Persona fan.
Finishing
The next game I want to bring up will be a bit of a cult classic in time. It is for me personally. I played this game, I reviewed it, and I adored it. And I don't think it's for everybody, but it definitely was for me, and that is Sandland. Especially in the year that Akira Toriyama has passed away. It's another franchise he created, and it's an open world game where you and your comrades are running around in a tank, fighting monsters in the desert, fighting other humans. And I really love the exploration in this game, finding brand new ruins, exploring that. And the main commodity in this world is water. Everybody's trying to get that.
Here, have some water.
And it's a franchise that I absolutely adore. It even has sneaking missions in it.
What?
There's a lot to like in Sandland, and I think, unfortunately, a lot of people passed it up, where my recommendation is pick it up if it's on the cheap, and I think probably after Christmas it'll probably drop a little bit. So pick it up and enjoy one of the last Akira Toriyama franchises. It's really sad that he's passed away now. And I think that's what made me enjoy the game even more, knowing that he had passed away this year, and I wanted to honor him by playing it.
Way to go!
Good job, Prince.
Now, a game that I really hope a lot more people played is Unicorn Overlord by Atlas and Vanillaware Games. This game is a strategy powerhouse with great side view combat that is illustrated so beautifully that only Vanillaware can pull off. But there's a deep strategy game in here which leads into some absolutely over-the-top fantastic encounters. Big high recommendation for Unicorn Overlord. If you like strategy games, I think you'll really like this one.
Glory to the liberation.
Okay, I'll be a bit biased on this one because I'm such a big Ys fan. I always have been on the channel. Ys 10 Nordics got released this year, and I played the Japanese version, and I got to play the full English version. I finished it all the way. I finished it actually in 4 days. It's like 44 hours in 4 days. It was a crazy time, but I got to the end of the game, and I loved it. And I loved it as an Ys game. Is it perfect? No. Is some of the sailing very boring in the game? It can be. It's very much like Wind Waker. But for me, I kind of like the idea of Atoll, being on a ship, being able to control it, and going and visiting different islands.
All right! Let's get the let out!
I really wish they let you off the leash a little bit more to explore a little bit more. But what's here is a great over-the-top action RPG, and I had a lot of fun with this. I enjoyed this more than Ys 9, but not more than Ys 8.
Hey! It's our lucky day!
Can you believe it? Ys 8 is such a classic now. It really is. But if you're looking for a big, fun RPG adventure style of game, you're gonna get it with Ys 10 Nordics.
Shatter! With this!
And of course, I have to talk about Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake. I did a review on the channel. It went pretty big because I'm a big Dragon Quest fan. I always have been on the channel. I've reviewed all of the games here. And this was a return to form honoring the original games that originally came out on the Super Famicom, on the NES as Dragon Warrior over here. And there was also 16-bit versions, Game Boy versions, where this is the definitive way to play Dragon Quest III. And there's 3 levels of difficulty. You can speed up combat. There's a lot of enhancement to the game. There's a lot of things to explore that have been added into this on the overworld. But I gotta tell ya, just hearing that music again, seeing those graphics, going into some of those dungeons, it brought me back to being a kid. I swear to God, I was like 14 to 18 years old again in my parents' basement playing the original Dragon Warrior Dragon Quest games, and it was beautiful. I really had a great time with Kim. We were handing the controller back and forth. I'm like, okay, I'll do this dungeon, and then when I get a little bit burnt out, I give it back to her, and she's like, okay, I'll go do the next quest and all that. And we both finished this game together, and what a great game to play together at Christmas, and a big high recommendation if you're looking for an old school RPG with a bit of a modern take on it, with some kind of 3D graphics thrown in as well, but beautifully honoring the original.
See ya!
Okay, now this is one of the games that I played near the end of the year, and that is for Fantasian Neo Dimension. What a name, I know. And this is a game by Miss Walker and Hironobu Sakaguchi. Yes, he made this game a few years ago, and it was exclusive to Apple Arcade for a while. I played it on an iPad. I didn't really like playing that way. I was waiting for the console release. And I gotta tell you something, this game really surprised me. I always loved the graphics. I really did enjoy the handmade graphics, that they're made from models, actual models in reality, and they scan them in. You get to run around these environments. I enjoyed that aspect. I didn't realize how much I would fall in love with an old school game. And that's what this is. It's an old school RPG, you know, a big leveling up fest, and very simple, just talking to characters, buying equipment. Not a lot of depth here. There is with the storyline. You play as Leo as you try to figure out who you are and how you fit into the story.
I've lost my memory.
But I couldn't believe it. I did some first thoughts on it, and I just absolutely kept on playing the game. What a surprise. That's one of the biggest surprises of the year, of how much I enjoyed it. And I thought I was going to like it a lot. I enjoyed it this much more. A big high recommendation if you're looking for an old school RPG. Now, Luigis Mansion 2 came out, the high definition version based off the 3DS version, and I started to play this game again at Halloween, and I was like, this is perfect. And yes, it's a remake of an older game, but they really did it justice honoring the original, and the original was a very difficult game back in the day. The only thing that I wish that they had included Luigi's Mansion 1, so they would have done a 1 and 2 in one package. And I don't know how well the game did from Nintendo, but what I can say is I enjoyed it at Halloween, playing as Luigi, going around that mansion, exploring, lots of fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to, in the future, playing more Luigi's Mansion. Another game not to pass up on if you like action RPGs, by Square. Yes, they released another Mana game this year called Visions of Mana. A very great fairy tale adventure to go on with great graphics and a really fun, intuitive battle system. And this is one that I played quite a bit into that I'm going to get back to this Christmas season. I want to spend my time off playing Visions of Mana because I was having such a great time with it, and it's one of those games I'm like, yes, this is one of my games of the year. I already knew that when the first few hours of playing it. I'm like, I love this. And I like all of the Mana games. Is it perfect? Are some of the controls absolutely where they should be? No, but for what it is, an action RPG with a beautiful fairy tale style of look to it, love it. And I love the over-the-top boss battles. And I also have to mention, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. This was a game I played right at the beginning of the year. I got a little sidetracked from it, but boy did I have a great time. I love the combat. It's like an RPG game. Now this is a series that's kind of a spiritual successor to the Shenmue series way off in the past, and there's been so many games. They almost release a game every 1 to 2 years now, and I'm thrilled at that. It was so great to see the Hawaii setting in here, and I love the humor in here. But I also love the combat, and there's also a lot of seriousness in the game as well. So guys, those are some games of the year that I've been playing. I will ask you, what are your games of the year? Let me know down below. 2024 was a great time for video games and very, very memorable for sure. So anyways guys, until next time.